Hello my lovelies, here I am with something a bit spectacular. I've got to say that myself, it's a bit spectacular and it's a chunky. She is so chunky and I make no apologies the fact that she's chunky because she is, and I love it, absolutely love it. I think this is the biggest journal I've ever done. Oh, got carried away. Now, if you've been with me a while, and sorry if you're new subscribers, I will try and link, if you go into my Tuesday sewing videos, you will see how we made this cover. So this cover we did together, and yeah, here it is. So the edges, front and back, are made of handmade paper. It's that lovely handmade, really thick handmade paper. Then we've got layers of embroidery, machine embroidered with a lovely metallic thread there. And then we've got some really vintage, that's a piece of vintage lace. I don't have much of it. I've been saving it for something like this, and it's got metallic thread on there. It's got another piece of a real, and you know, it's really antique thread on there. We've got some lovely big knots, we've got a Suffolk puff, we've got all sorts of different, we've got pistol stitch, we've got different layers of different hessian, different burlap there. Then we've got some lovely lace across the spine, which is, yeah, the spine is pretty chunky in itself. Good to just over 2 inches, 2.5. Then we've got all seed stitch in different wools. Again, another piece of this antique lace. We've got different stitching, and again we've got some of this lovely, look at that, they're gorgeous, French knots, and layered up with different fabrics, and then they've all got these dark metallic eyelets. Yeah, 4.5 inches this gaiter mouth, so sorry if you don't like chunky journals, then this isn't for you. So that it's not pulling in any one place, I've used all 3 eyelets, and they've got a full length of coloured seam binding, hand coloured seam binding on. This is the trick, getting them out. I think you need to go and get yourselves a cup of tea or a hot chocolate or something like that, because yeah, we're going to be a while. Just get a nice cup of tea and just wallow in the, you know, in all this textural, touchy-feely beauty. Okay, does lie flat, so as you're opening the signatures, it lies pretty flat, so that's nice. On the inside is some upholstery fabric. This is some hand-dyed calico that I did. This is a pocket made of hand-dyed, hand-stamped. We've got a lovely Patricia wallet. So Patricia Viramonte, she does these lovely wallets, and you open them up, you've got bits and bobs inside. And I've just got a little note here. So in this journal you get 368 sides, front and back. So keep you going. You could do a day, couldn't you? Just over a year. So if you do a page a day helps you work, rest and play. Was that I think that was a Mars advert or something. Chocolate. Okay, so mixture of different papers in. Again, it's a mixture of everything I got printed in my stash, together with different digitals that I got printed off, and it's got our own avocado dyed paper, our own tea dyed paper, and straw paper. This is one of Rachel's images, Italian scenes. tried to do as much collage as I could. Look at this. This is one of the first pours. There's all the graining of the tea in that. I love that. I've tried to put some of my favourite pieces in of David's dyeing. This is one of our beautiful doily kit. Then here we have got this little Tracy entomology label that lets you open out this little trifold. So in here you've got something, you've got one of my, they've got stamps in there and one of my stamp background cards. David did me a sheet of stamp backgrounds if you needed one. Beautiful collage there. This is from our aquatic kit. I couldn't let this, you know, there's a bee there, and I thought, oh, we'll have a fish there to go with that. So you've got a little bitsy pocket there. You've got some paint chips in there, and then you just fold that, and that goes behind the entomology label. This is some of, I think the first signature is a lot of Rachel's stuff. Again, a lovely pocket there, lovely couple of tags there. Still place to make it your own. There's still lots of writing space, even though there's loads in this. This has got one of my slow stitch clusters on there. This has got some tracing paper. Little handmade paper there with a little ticket in it. This has just got some, and I purposely tried to do a bit of a pattern with the art glitter glue to give that effect on dressmaking paper. Here we've got another lovely bird pocket, and you have got another of the mixed stamp cards. Made those a long while ago. Rachel's labels, straw paper. That's one of my corner tucks that I did some stamping on. We did a masterboard with the old 1800s Spanish dictionary. And on here, this is an old piece of vintage paper out the connoisseur that I've got some old adverts and things on. And then a bit of one of Rachel's kits there. Here, another pocket. Then we've got a lovely double-sided card in there. This is what, look at this, love it, loads of texture. I mean, you know, wouldn't be me if we didn't have loads of texture in. Another lovely card. I've tried to keep the journal cards flat as possible, really. Now, I love doing Rachel's paint papers on craft paper. It just gives you a different look altogether. See, that's the craft paper on the back, and it just gives you a different look. I like it. It really goes nice with that green. Edith Holden pocket there, and then we've got a tag back with avocado. Here we've got some really old embossed paper, straw paper. Again here, collage with handmade paper. Little tuck spot there, and again, gorgeous, one of the first pour papers from avocado. It's just got so much lovely patterning to it. That's the back of it. Again, that's one of David's doilies. We've got one of my Hessian clusters there. These are Rachel's botanical tags. Bits of handmade paper and some of Tracy's black and white and blue labels. Then another collage, another one of the lovely colourful tags, a lovely old label there. This, I just love this. I stuck on top some dressmaking tissue, Florentine paper, so you name it, it's got it. This is one of my, especially for you, Nola, this is one of my fold down pockets that you can open up and write in. And the original idea came from, I can't think of her first name. Why? Yvonne Preston. Little collage with some Edith Holden plate. I've tried to make it look like I've just stuck things in, you know, you've just found them in an antique shop and stuck them in. Here we've got a little itsy bitsy with one of the little tags that I made from a romantic letters kit when I did that journal. Cute entomology label from Tracy, some lovely leaves. Again, can you see how lovely? This is the craft paper I get from Amazon and how lovely printer stuff comes out. Our printer does let me do that, doesn't let me do a lot of things, but it lets me do that. Then we've got another one of these. Now this one does open, so you could stick it down if you wanted. Lots and lots of space to journal on. Little glassine bag here with some different tickets from, these are like botany tickets I think from Tracy. Collage pocket. Venetian scene. Little belly band. And again here there's a little thing that's in there. Falls down, bit of secret journaling. Another one of the little pockets, because I've got a little die cut for that. That's got some lovely collage, one of our embroideries, doilies, this lovely grungy tea-dyed paper. That's the first signature finished. Then we get to the next one. This is a page from an old vintage Guinness Book of Records. Now then, this is a printable of some of David's dyed papers. Then we've got a trifold in here, and I've included in here some from an old vintage English nature book, and there's another piece there, Mother Nature's Wild Animals it's called. So they go in there. This is some of David's background papers. Let me know if you want David to put that kit together. He's done quite a lot of background papers for me, but if you'd like it in a kit, let me know. Some old diary page. This is one of the pockets we did using punches, your little punches, and they're the flower punches I have. These are tags from Rachel and one of my Hessian toppers. That's another one there. This is a printable of some old ledger, and this is from a paper outpost. I think one of the cards we did recently for a design team project for Tracy Fox Creative. a little collage there of her stuff. Here we have a little tuck, vintage paper. So there's a lot of vintage stuff in here, lots of vintage papers, but a wealth of my slow stitching. Here, got what this is. This is a little old end paper fly sheet from my stash. Here we've got a corner pocket, and these are from Tracy's background tags, and then a lovely big journal card. So I've tried to use up, you know, some card from my stash as well. Here we've got the old map book, UK map book. We're on to David's avocado dyed paper. Look at the colourings on that. Scrummy yummy. I can't remember, oh, it's here. I couldn't remember how to get in it. So one of the decorated envelopes there, and it's got, again, some other things from Mother Nature's wild animals. So I've tucked that back in there. Mr. Toad, as I took here with some old vintage paper from one of my children's books, Wild Animals of the Field, Hedgerow and Wood. And some of the index and some little Tracy labels in there. Another lovely piece of avocado. I've been saving these in my stash, these with best markings on. Edith Holden pocket. Then here we've got another Patricia Viramontes. That's all stenciled, not stenciled, collaged with all bits and bobs of, looks like mainly Rachel's, and a bit of fabric from my stash here and here. And then inside it's got a couple of Rachel's labels. My go-to for labels generally are Rachel at Roxy Creations, Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. I've got some lovely ones from Nikki Adjigan at Musings by Nikki, and yeah, of course, Tracy Fox, the designer of the Tracy label. I bet she laughs at that really, but she thinks, oh crikey. Oh, we'll put a Tracy label on. Bit of collage on some old, a bit more of that, the Guinness Book of Records. Everybody I'm sure must know the World Guinness Book of Records. It's compiled, I'm sure it's compiled here in the UK. There we go there. There we've got a little flip up. This is some of David's Sky, some of his Sky pages. And it's just got a lovely flip there. I've just, it was a bit raggedy around the edge, so I've just strengthened that. Then in the middle here we've got some lovely, this is like that fish shop paper, fish and chip shop wrapping. It's not had any fish and chips in it, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's got a lovely long variegated thread, linen thread. You can undo that and put dangles on if you so wish. And we're back at the other side of the cloud paper, and this is a flippy outy journal card, another pocket, and then a lovely big journal card there, just some collaging on there. Then here it's stuck on the page, but you've got another selection of stamps for you to use. Done well for all the stamps. Again, another one of those lovely clusters that I did in last month's design team. Was it June now? June's design team project. Collage page there with some vintage, again, book page from an old 60s science book, I believe. And again, back to the Nature's Wild Animals. Got a lovely bat on there. Got a lovely pocket there. Some scrapbooking paper. These are all grungy papers. I think it's called, there's a tag there. Again, some of that old map index, and it's got a table of countries here. I could have done with that for my Round the World journal, couldn't I? Lovely avocado, gorgeous avocado again. Another piece from the late 1800s, 1900 scripture papers that the soldiers were given here in the UK when they went wherever they went. Lovely different fonts on that, so you could always rip it out and use that for collage if you wanted. I just love the fonts. Bit of calendar, pocket again. This is a printable from I've said her name once, I've forgotten, the lady that has the parrots and the birds and the little dog, white dog that looks like Tintin's dog. I've forgotten her name, I've said it once. Paper Outpost. See, Tintin dog, it sets off a memory. Some lovely cards there. I've just done a little baby because I've got a lovely little punch here that I got off Amazon, and this is a lovely little different punch top ear tags. Again, look at that. This is from Tracy's. Tracy's got a couple of beekeeping kits. Gorgeous flowers in that kit as well. There we are. Here we've got some old tea bags that you might want to use. These are Forever Living Aloe Blossom Herbal Tea. Just tucked in there. In fact, you can still smell it. One of my sewn tabs. Another little pocket and a card in there. And here we've got a little card that we did on camera, I believe. Double card with some little Tracy butterflies on there. Got more tabs on that. Second signature. We're now into the third. So my machine sewn tabs, which are very similar to the ones that Tim Holt sells. I've done them myself. Here we've got a long pocket for a long tag. There we go. If I can get it in, I can't get close enough. Give it a little shufty down. There we go. This is one of David's lace backgrounds. One of Tracy's butterflies and botanical labels. Some lovely straw paper again. Here, we've got loads of this Nature's Animals book in here. This is the title page. Just inked around that. One of David's background pages. I never thought that I'd love these bows as much as I do. So these, I mean, you know, for those of you, I'm sure everybody must know Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. She does some amazing kits. She's very shabby chic in style. Really, you know, I don't know what my style is. A bit of this and a bit of that. And, I've had these recently. And they're gorgeous. I never thought I'd be able to use them in the style that but look how lovely that looks on there. And it goes with these pretty birds here. Love it. Another little tab there. Here we've got one of those cards we made together with the pretty stamps, using these stamps. One of David's doilies, the big butterfly set from Tracy. Some avocado dyed, another lovely pocket there. And in this pocket you've got a little bag, striped bag there, and also we've got a bit more of that. This is the publisher of the Nature's Animals, Frederick Warne and Company Limited, London and New York. That's in there. I love these big butterflies. You know, you just want to decorate a page leave a bit of writing space around it. You just need a big butterfly. Look at this one. Look at this. Look at these. I love them. You could sit there all day and just fluff them up. Lovely big journal card there. One of my Hessian toppers. Oops. Here we have, again from Tracy's Bee Kit, and one of my ribbon paper clips. Here, side tuck, some more collage, lift it up a bit, flip. I put this in. This is a little, from my old nursery rhyme book from being a child, so yeah, it's very old. I've inked around it. I had a little hen, the prettiest ever seen. Middle of this signature, one of David's background pages. Here we've got some lovely bits and bobs on there. Here we have a side tuck, and again this is one of the button cluster tags that I did with, not Renaissance, I can't remember the period I did, it's from Romantic Letters. Again here, this is some lovely like a linen effect card. Again, some bits and bobs from Tracy's Bee Kit, entomology label. Sorry I'm keeping you guys. Told you needed a drink. Another flip up. Look, again. Look how fabulous that bow looks. It's my new fave thing. One of David's doilies. Vintage sari silk. Big collage journal card. Another pocket. Again, you can see what I mean about using the craft paper to print some of your printables on. If you're doing a grungy book like this, it fits fabulously. That's one of Tina's number tickets. In the hair, we've got a lovely tuck with a lovely big journal card there. Here, a couple of bits in there. Rachel tag. These are the lovely flowers from the bee kits, the bee add-on kit of Tracy's. And inside here, flip up card. Tucks behind there. Graph paper, Edith Holden wraparound. I've backed it with craft cards so you can write on it. Some light avocado, you see, you never know how different pours are going to be. There's some Tina tickets. Again, out of the scripture book. Big side tuck there. Big pocket there. So plenty of pockets to tuck your own stuff in. You know, you can take everything out of here and just put your own in and use it for something else. This is a lovely bookmark that was in my stash, the goldfinch. Just thought it went nice there. Old map, side pocket, lovely big card in there. Can you believe we're still on the same journal? We're still there. We're still batting on, guys. See what I mean? You could do a page. You could just use this as your 2023. Are we 2022 now? Yeah, 2023 journal. Do a page a day. Some old straw paper, another flip, and a little tuck in there. Middle of this signature, I've got a flip there, and that just goes, flips down into there. Stop it getting in, coming up. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Here we've got a big wraparound, and it's got a little seed packet there with some itty bitties in, and then it's got a big tag there, and on this side we've got a big journaling card there, and then that just wraps around. On the other side you've got a big pocket there with a tag in it. I love doing that one. Here we've got a really old piece out of Connoisseur, and side pocket and a lovely big tag. Some nice green straw paper. Very difficult to get hold of other colours in straw paper these days, so that's been in my stash a while. Map again. Nature jar out of traces, so a lot of this signature has got a lot of traces. Bead kit in, which is quite a new kit from her. Big side tuck with a big journaling card, and on the back there's a little pocket. It's backed in avocado dye, and then another card tucked in the back. Here we've got one of my mini lunch bag ephemera. I can't get in it, wait a minute. Let me open it up for you. So you've got a lovely piece of tea dyed paper in there. It's got collaging on the back. Then it's got a tuck spot on the front with some itty bitties in. David's doily. There we go, another pocket there. Large entomology label, little itty bitties in there. Here we've got a flip up, you could colour that in if you like, it's adult colouring book, and some diary space on the back. Here another big pocket, another big collaged card. So this is again from the Guinness Book of Records, and it's a really old one. It's not a modern one. I think it's from. It's got the date on it. I'm sure when I bought it, it's what we got here, 1930, 1850s. I seem to think though it was late 40s, early 50s, so still vintage. Here we've got a little tuck spot in there. Again, some of that colouring in paper. Here I've got a lovely transparency that I got in a kit from Chapter 1 Papers. Sometimes they do their boxes with all lovely pieces in, and that's out of that. Thought it went well with that. But again, another fave. This is from the heraldry book. Again, traces, bead kit. Old embroidery. There's a card in there. In that side tuck. Then here we've got another flip up page. On here we've got one of the tea dye pockets. We've got some of Tracy's yellow tea cards in there, and one of the big tags from Rachel. Another flip. That's got all sorts of bits and bobs in it, and then we're in the middle of this last signature. This is actually, sorry, let me have a drink. This is a printout of a embroidery piece that I did. David photographs all my embroidery pieces because they do come in useful. Got all sorts of chenille. It got like a chenille turkey work in the middle. Lovely big journaling card there. There we have got a lovely wraparound. Here, this opens up for extra journaling space. Here as well, so it's a wraparound, and then it's just tucked in on there. Embroidery vintage paper. Again from the heraldry book. My favourite birds, 2 tags in there. And here we've got a little side tuck there, look. So you could put more in there, just got that in there. And then you've got a pocket there. Avocado paper here, got a side tuck, and that's one of part of a masterboard. Another one of those lovely, gorgeous tracing papers. This is ripped. There is a big rip in it. Well, I'll show you there. I didn't want to do anything with it. You can either pull it out or do whatever. And then here you can write under that. Use that somewhere else if you rip that page out. Oh, that's not, I want to stick that back on there now. It's just stuck to that page there, wasn't it? Needs a bit of washi on that. Lovely avocado dyed again. Oh, I don't know what's happening this last. I think it's this heat. It's making things stick again. Lovely side tuck again from the masterboard. So it's quite a plain background. Do what you want with it. Again from the vintage heraldry book. That is handmade paper. And there we have the back. Great big pocket again. Then it's got a lovely decorated, it's like a lovely iridescent envelope with some collage on it. So, there we go. It will be going in my shop if I can part with it. Yes, it's going to be quite pricey, guys, but then again, I'm sure you can appreciate that there's a lot of work in there. There's a lot of vintage stuff in there. There's a lot of lovely texture. Don't know what that's come off, I'll have to find that. And yeah, it should be quite special if you watch that series of making this cover. And it'll really, you know, really show you what we've done with it. And there are all the seam bindings. You can put different bindings on if you want. Use this seam binding for your tags. Okay, so thank you so much for bearing with me. It's been a long one. I told you needed a drink, but I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's given you some ideas of different things that you could perhaps do in a really chunky journal. It does lie nicely even though it's big. And yeah, that'll be going in the shop shortly. As ever, I always give my subscribers first dabs. Is that the word? First dabs at any journal I'm going to put into the shop. So if you do want to buy this, get in touch with me as soon as you can, because we'll be putting it in the next couple of days. And thank you so much. Take care out there. Bye for now.